Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I've still just been poking at this strand here. It always gives me a bit of trouble, so it's not too surprising that it's taking me a little while in order to get it to where I want it to be. Here I kind of felt like this part up here was moving a little bit less than this part right here when I was looking at it right before stream here. So I just want to do a quick adjustment there. And once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to head back over to the top head view and just start putting that back together. It's a little bit better. And let's just get all the spacing right, and I think all will be well. Yeah, there we go. That is a lot better. It's amazing just how big a difference these tiny little tweaks can make. Like, man, I think next time I make a model on stream, I might use simpler art. Maybe use some of my own drawings instead. Yeah, there we go. That's working a lot better now. Okay. It's got a little thing down here I don't like. I always like to come into a new day just doing small touch-ups. Gives me a chance to kind of look through everything that I did yesterday and find the few things that I didn't like. I tend to notice a few more things when I look at things with fresh eyes than I did the day before. That's why I always describe my future self as very picky. So I can always find a thing or two that I think can be a little bit better. Even if it's just small things, like the loop here was getting a little bit too thick at the bottom. There was a part that was moving a little bit less than a different part and making things look a little bit strange. That kind of thing. But I do think that all of these things are worth fixing. I apply it to my illustrations too. Like when I was doing my speed paints for like Inktober and stuff, those I don't really correct, I just upload them as soon as I finish them, but for everything else that I put more effort into, I always like to sleep on it for a day if I'm able to. The only time that I wouldn't be able to is if I have, like, a deadline for when I need to finish that. I finish it, like, right at the deadline. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm just going to line everything up here. If I recall, I was also taking a look up in this area by this highlight and where this little bit is happening. Looks like it's a bit too low on the upward head turn still. That's okay, that's why I'm doing these little fixes. Apparently I did not do a good job on the strand when I was initially doing the upward head turn. But going in and checking out that corner helped me notice this problem. So hopefully the model will look a little bit better when I'm done. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to being done with the hair though. It just has so much hair. Here's hoping that this angle doesn't take quite as long. I get the feeling it will. It's just my nature. I'm trying to make everything as good as I can, so I tend to get a little bit picky. And I am willing to maul about things for perhaps a little bit longer than I should. Sometimes it results in good things, though. I'm pretty happy that I decided to stick with it for the illustration for Path to Nowhere's anniversary. Because I thought I had a pretty good idea, but I just could not get the composition to work. But after just messing with it for a while and really trying to analyze what wasn't working for me, I did eventually find something that I liked. So that ended up being worth it. I've almost finished rendering the characters, so I think I am on track to being able to post that to the community page this weekend. You guys can get another little progress shot while I go and hopefully finish that up. I have less than 10 days left, so down to 9. Assuming I can count. I can't count, can I? 8. Yes. I swear I know my numbers. So I have until the 23rd to finish that up. And I'm pretty excited to work on it more today. Putting in some more things that are just making everything look so much more 3D and interesting, I think. So I've been going through Path to Nowhere's new event periodically. I tried to do a couple of stages every day or so while I eat. I don't have a lot of time to play through it. And admittedly, it's been a little bit hard for me to get excited about it because, at least for me, I pretty much play that game like a visual novel. I am very much in it for the writing. So a gameplay-focused event is a little bit less exciting for me personally. Currently, I'm still on the second layer. The 5th level of the second layer, I think. Where I want you to go through a bunch of enemies without taking them power, and that's just cruel. I also tried Zero for the first time in gameplay, and she was pretty fun. Just insta-delete button, like, everywhere. Pretty good. Granted, I guess it's abilities like those that make a lot of the gameplay a lot less interesting for me, but still, it was pretty satisfying just putting her in her place and watching everything die. Man, why do I keep going on the wrong turn here? I'm supposed to be working on the upward head turn. Why am I adjusting the wrong one? Okay, we gotta back up then. Apparently I zoned out for a second there. Let me see. Where do I need this fixed? Okay. So probably back there. No, a little further. Have to find the point where... Okay, I don't actually know then. Alright, well, I'll go back here. I didn't think I was that out of it today, but here we are. I guess this happens sometimes. I guess this is what happens when I'm focusing more on what I'm saying than what I'm doing. It's alright, I'll just fix it. All will be well, I think. You gotta be able to laugh at yourself occasionally. Okay, hopefully that fixed everything. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. Let's go back to actually fixing the top head turn like I've been meaning to. Okay. So I'll try to pay a little bit more attention to what I'm doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and consult the mesh, because there's some spots kind of in the middle here where I can see shifting, but I can't tell quite what's wrong. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, I know I said that I wasn't going to adjust this one anymore, but I actually want to fix those triangles. There we go. I don't think that'll really affect anything, just because everything those triangles affects is underneath a different layer. But they were being really distracting, so I wanted to just get them real quick. There we go. That was probably what I was seeing right there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. But yes, for the current event, I wouldn't say that I'm using any particularly special strategies or anything. I'm just, I don't know, spam the skill button, watch everything die, go ooh and ah. That's what a lot of the gameplay boils down to be, for me, so. The one that wanted you to put a bunch of status effects on enemies did get me to play with 3 E's for the first time, even though I've had them built for like ever. And that was pretty entertaining. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything right at all. I was able to just, you know, spam the big button and have everything work out, but... It's okay, watching them try to run away is pretty funny. Unfortunately, I doubt I will have very much insightful to say on the gameplay, because half the time I don't even read what they do. Occasionally I just look up good team composition on the internet or something, and it kind of gives me some ideas on how to play certain things, if I get stuck. But I don't get stuck very often. I did for a little while when I first moved into Dark Zone, but for Broken Frontline, that is. But when it came down to it, I just did not have the time to be solving a hard stage every week. So I just kind of ended up neglecting it for a really long time. It's a little bit sad, honestly, but... I just had too many other things I needed to do. I couldn't be devoting, like... sometimes it could take me like 30 minutes to figure out how to do a level. Maybe less if I managed to find a guide that I could follow, but for the most part it was still just taking a bit too long, so I kind of had to ignore it. It was a bit unfortunate. Probably missed out on a lot of cubes because of that. Makes me glad that they added that option that just lets you attempt it. Because then I can just, you know, spend that 20 minutes up front just quickly running 4 attempts, and then I'm good for the rest of the time, unless I decide I actually want to go for a reasonable score or something. That hasn't happened yet, though. I have too many things I want to draw. Not very much time for video games. It's alright, part of me is a little bit sad, but part of me is quite happy, because it means that I just have so many other things that I want to do. And that my creativity is doing very well. And I'm not just experiencing the large bouts of frustration that I would get when I was drawing, like, I don't know, a few years ago. I would always just get really frustrated at what I was doing, and it would make me stop for a long period of time. Like, I would always be drawing in bursts, as opposed to the consistency that I have now. I would just get super mad at something. Something just would not work out, and I just couldn't figure out why, and it would make me sad. Or when I was really young, you know, we're talking like 10 billion years ago at this point, and I had to take art at school. I did not always get along with my art teachers, and so I would always have some problems with them, and it made me not want to draw, so I didn't. Which was also unfortunate, so I'm kind of glad to be in a state where I can just go. Some days I draw more than others, but I think I'm starting to reach another one of those points where I can do quite a lot at a time, and those are always the best. I always try to do as much as I can in that time, because I know it's not going to last forever. But it's been great, because the last couple of days, I want to say like the past 2 or so, I've just been feeling great, and I draw in the morning, and then my kids get up, and then I write for as long as they let me. It's like if they want to play with me, I play with them, but otherwise I am probably writing something. Still can't really draw while they're awake, because they don't like it when I have my tablet up in my lap and they're awake. They get very curious about it, or they want to sit on my lap, and can't do that. I remember the other day my son, he's going to be turning 3 in January. So he's largely figured out how to talk, but he still talks in very simple sentences and doesn't really know how to express things nicely or anything yet. He's still very little. He's still figuring it all out. And he just tapped on my tablet one day that I tried to have it out, and was just like, "Put it away, mommy, put it away." And tried to push it off me. It was very cute. And at that point, I had to finish up what I was doing and go play with them. So drawing's pretty hard, but writing I can pick up and put down a little bit more easily. And I tend to get a little bit less upset when I'm looking at stuff at the computer, because we hook up a computer to the TV, and sometimes they'll just also watch something on a computer or a tablet if they want. And so they have a better understanding of what's being done with the TV than they do the tablet, so... The drawing tablet, that is, not... like... Yeah, I guess tablet has a couple of different terms of... or uses now. Another thing making me feel old. Because I was before the time of tablets. So when I think of tablet, I think drawing tablet. But yeah, the fact that I've just been able to go hard and not get distracted bodes well for me finishing my illustration on time. And bodes well for what I'll be able to make in the coming weeks. Should be able to do all the things. Oh, there we go. That's a very nice little curl there. Oh, that makes me happy. I hope I don't have to move it. Because that's, like, perfect. So far so good though, so yeah, I guess that's just where it needed to go. And it just curled perfectly for me. Oh yeah. Still got some compression going on here though. It's actually here too. Okay, I'll fix it up here too. But soon, this strand of hair's reign of terror will be over, and I'll be free. And I can work on other strands. I don't know why this one is so much harder than the rest, but it always trips me up every single time. And every single head angle on this entire model, just working on this strand has always just been a complete nightmare. I don't know what it is about it, but oh man. Whatever it is a thing. I guess that just kind of happens sometimes. Maybe someday I'll be able to figure it out, but I have no idea. I have no idea what's making this one so strange. I thought I might be getting a handle on it, but I think I might have been being a little bit arrogant. I think I am wrong. I do not think I have as much as a handle on it as I thought I did. It's alright. I'm still putting it all together. It's working out. What I'm poking at here is I just noticed, it's especially noticeable here for me, of like right around here, if you look closely, on how it just feels like everything is moving up really, really fast. And kind of changing shape. So that's what I was looking at. The loop also looks very bad when I move it up like this. So that's something I'm gonna have to work out here. I keep probably trying to make it floof out a little bit too hard. Yeah, that's moving very strangely. It's moving okay from this side, but the fact that it's completely wrong here means that I might have to make some corrections on the upper left, too. So let's see why things are going so wrong here. What wisdom do you have for me, Mesh? I am believing in the Mesh's wisdom here. Okay. So yeah, one of the reasons that I think that this strand is a little bit harder to work with than some of the others is that I didn't mesh the, like, center line, the line going down the middle, perfectly straight and even. Like, I doubt I ever get it, like, perfectly straight or anything. But typically it's a little bit better than this. It's like if you look at how this center line is going, it like goes like this, and then there's suddenly like this sharp angle change right here. And I think that throws me off a bit. Among other things. But that's definitely one of the things that's not helping. I want to note that for the future. So hopefully I won't make mistakes like that again. So I'll try to line up all these little vertices just a little bit better here. It's like they do need to go higher naturally. But hopefully, yeah, they're a little bit better off now. So I'm just going to try to straighten out some stuff through here and get rid of the last few areas that I saw that were squirming pretty hard. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks like it's just lifting upward. Much better. Still not perfect. I see some stuff down here that I want to fix. But I think before I do that, I want to check the loop on this side. Yeah, you can kind of see that it's moving a little bit strangely. Or at least I can kind of see that. So let me try to fix this up a little bit. Just get it to line up with everything here. Still looks like things are sliding downward. So there we go, something like that. It's a little bit better. There's like... I think if I move the center vertex up just a little bit more, that'll be better. This loop has a particular shape to it, and I have apparently not been capturing it as well as I thought I was. Oh yeah, that's much better. Now I do feel like certain aspects of like up here are moving a little bit too much and I don't like it. So I would want to fix it all up. This strand, man. It really does get me every time. It's okay, as always. It comes together eventually. I just always look forward to getting past it because it becomes really hard to figure out what to talk about when I'm just working on the same strand of hair for 3 streams. It really does. I like to be able to talk about my process and what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing and how I approach all this, but when it's just the same thing for so long, there's only so much I can say before I just start getting super redundant and I feel ridiculous. But it just does not want to come together. The strand is very unkind to me. I don't like it. I wish it was more understanding, or at least more understandable. Okay, but I do think I'm getting somewhere here, so I'll take it. I'll try not to complain too much. I am just perhaps feeling a little bit whiny due to the strand not cooperating with anything that I'm doing. I don't know what I did to upset it, but whatever it is, I'm sorry. Please be kind. Please work with me. I'd appreciate it so much. I just want to work on some other parts too. I'd like to stop doing hair someday. Maybe we can actually do some of the body movement, you know, before the end of the year. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I I laugh, because otherwise I would cry. Alright, did I work out some of the compression that I was seeing? Some of it. It's better than it was. I guess that's a start. Being better than it was. Okay. I forgot what I was looking at. Okay. I see it now. It's okay when I just arbitrarily forget what I was doing. I just check again and all is well. My brain might be a little bit elsewhere. Sitting in all those other things that I'm working on too. This is why I actually don't tend to have a bunch of projects going on at once. It just happened to work out this way. I tend to prefer to work at one thing at a time, but... because I always want to do 100% of everything that I work on stream, and just never work on it off stream. I need another project there, and then I have the third one that I do when my kids are awake, so... my brain has been wandering around a little bit, and it doesn't always know what's going on. I also blame trying to talk and art at the same time. That is still far more difficult than I think some people give it credit. I had taken some time to watch some art streamers and see what they do for a little while, and I was amazed by the number that could not talk and draw at the same time. I would have thought to be an art streamer, that would have been like one of the first skills you need to develop. But to be fair, it is a really hard skill to develop. Like, no shade on those people. It is really hard. And all things considered, it probably does make me work at about half speed. Okay, I do think I am still getting through the worst of it here. I think this looks okay. Let me zoom out a little bit again. Because, like, I don't think it's entirely right, but I think it still looks okay. So I think I might call that good enough. Does it still line up here? Yes, I think it does. Okay, so I think this is probably good. If it was closer to her face, I might be more picky, but it is not. So I'm not going to worry about it. I think it looks fine. Alright, just trying to fix up the curl right through there. Because there's a spot like right down here where I really, really liked how it curled, but up here, it's not quite there. And I do want to make sure that it looks nice. I don't think it's completely fair to the vertices to just leave things looking kind of meh. Like there's a difference between good enough and meh. There we go. I think something like that should work pretty well. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, I think so. Everything's still lining up here. Mostly, I just kind of need to fix it on the left turn here. This little loop. Now that I know that I had it actually quite wrong in a lot of different places. But it's okay. I can go back and just fix it now. I'm not sure I never noticed how awkward it was looking, but... well, there you go. Eyes can be weird like that. It's like if issues like that were never a thing, then I think everybody's art would be so much better. Because you would just know that something looks wrong and... well, I mean, it's like, I think, especially for a lot of beginners, the reason that their art is maybe not as strong as as people with more experience is because they just cannot see the problems. Like, they don't recognize it as a problem. Or if they do, they don't know how to fix it. Those are kind of the two main categories. But the first step to being able to fix something is to be aware that there is a problem. That is always the first step. Can't fix a problem until you know there's a problem. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and move on and pretend like there's nothing wrong, and I will let my future self deal with everything else. This means I get to turn the hair back on. We no longer have this random bit of floating hair coming off of her cheek. Hooray! Okay. So now I finally get to deal with this nonsense. Okay. Let's see here. It's like that I had to hide this strand for a really long time here. Pretty much the entire time I was working on this one. Just because it was squirming around so badly. It was distracting me from being able to do anything else. So it's nice that I'll finally be able to do something about it. Okay, and I think this solved like 90% of all problems. Heck yeah. I like it when my problems are easy to solve. Thank you for cooperating with me, little strand. I appreciate it. Especially after the one that I was just working with. It's nice to have something that actually wants to work with me. I'm so happy. Alright. So I kind of want to start at the top here. Start lining it up with the left first. But honestly, it looks like it's mostly fine already. Alright, because I have to come back over here and just make some adjustments like this. Because the way some stuff over there was moving was, very special. Very kind of bad looking. So I guess there's still a few things on the strand that I need to touch up. Oh, I will never be free. Send help. Okay. I know I sound super exasperated today, but I swear, rigging is an absolute blast and you should try it. I promise. Art is just hard, okay? But rigging's great. I love doing it. It's a really good time. It's like there's been a couple of times where I've been a little bit sick and I've thought about canceling stream, but I decided to come anyway just because I wanted to work on it. So it's like, no, it's a good time, I promise. And I'm probably making things look a lot harder than they actually are, just due to my personal inexperience with rigging. Like, there's probably 100 better ways to handle the head turns than what I'm doing here. But this is what I know, so it's what I'm doing. And as I get better, I will learn more things. I have already, just in the process of making this model, learned many things. So hopefully the next model will go a little bit more smoothly. And maybe I won't have to spend 3 months on hair. That's what learning is all about in the end. Just gaining an understanding. So let's see, for this one, like in the original here, there's like this angle and then it makes a little bump. And I'm trying to recapture that little bump. You can see the little bump is here, the little bump is here. But I haven't quite found the right spot for it here. And that's why everything is all wiggly. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask the mesh what I'm doing here. And oh man, does it feel good to actually finally be able to talk about another strand of hair. And what I'm trying to do with it in order to make it work. Okay, these are completely irrelevant, but they're squirming so hard out of the corner of my eye, and it's hard to see anything else, so I just need to get them into a relatively right spot. Come on. Just so that I can take a better look around. But it really doesn't look like it's that far off, so I wonder why everything's dancing so much. Oh, because I was looking at the wrong area. You know, fair enough. Mistakes happen sometimes. Okay, so I think I just need to poof a few of these little guys out. Right around here. I'm just being very delicate because I'm not actually sure if this is what the problem was, but it's what I see, so I will roll with that. I figure that as long as I keep rolling with the things that I see, once I no longer see things, I should have something that looks pretty good, right? In theory. Because in theory, that should mean that there's no more problems. Okay, yeah, that's already looking quite a bit better. For here, it's just small things and getting rid of a bunch of shifting. But I think once I line up the bump on the top view here, yeah, there we go. That should line things up with the lower views too. Alright, so now there's just a little bit. You can see that there's like this dark area right next to this light area, and it's having this weird bump right there. While I did want to bump on the hair, I do not want to bump right there. So we're gonna go bring it back in a little bit here. And then just kind of clean that up. But it's looking like it's in about the right spot. Just gotta clean up some of the little vertices around it. And then everything should be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, the strand is way in the back, so as long as it's mostly right, it should be okay. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So I'll just continue working my way down the strand. Let me double check what I was seeing there. Yeah, it kind of still feels like everything is being pulled down. So I'll just go ahead and start pulling things up. That's just what I gotta do. Fortunately, nice, straightforward problem to solve. It is so nice to be done with that strand. I have been done with it mentally for a long time, but because in this little world that I'm creating, it still wasn't right. I wasn't allowed to be done with it. I wasn't. I had to go back and make it all look good, otherwise everything would squirm and look bad, and then I'd be sad. My mental state of doneness did not reflect the physical state. Okay, that's still extremely crunchy at the bottom, but I want to check everywhere else. Okay. So, let's look at the mesh here. You can kind of see that I think I pulled everything a little bit too far up here. And a little bit too far out. So let's bring this little tiny gap between these two strands back. And kind of start pulling everything down a little bit too. Make sure all the vertices have plenty of personal space. Or at least as much personal space as they personally prefer. Some of them like being a little bit closer together. I think they're just best friends. Okay, now I just need to figure out the right width for everything at the bottom here. Because this is 2 lines of vertices here, so I need to figure out how far apart it needs to be for them to not start getting all crunchy and curling in on themselves and all these other nasty things that you don't want happening in your hair. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and consult the mesh. See if it has any good wisdom to impart. Things are sticking out over here. Well, yes, I suppose I did know that, but thank you for confirming it, mesh. Okay. What's going on here? How's that? That actually looks pretty okay. I think I need to adjust like the very bottom a little bit. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty okay. I kind of like the curl on this side here, where you can see this nice little curl there. It's very cute. So I kind of want to bring that into this side. So let's see what the mesh has to say for why it's going away. Mostly just right here. Okay. Easy enough to understand and easy enough to fix. Now we'll have a cute little curl back in her hair. And all things will be as they should be. Okay, that at least looks pretty good from a solid, you know, just standalone spot there. Or I guess I should say a still image. That was the term I was looking for. Still image. Before I double check the movement. Okay. And I think it's almost there. There's just a little lump. And once I get rid of that tiny little lump, then it will be done. In theory. Okay, there we go. I think I got rid of the tiny little lump. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. And it moves well, too. Excellent. Still not quite sure how I feel about that strand I've been working on for multiple days, but I need to get away from it for a little while. So I'm gonna go look on the other side, because that was the last bit on this side. Now, I can just come over here. And do a little bit of stuff over here. It does look like I've finished most of it, but not all of it. And at the very least, it's almost there. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll be able to finish some of this today, too. There isn't very much left to do on this side, either. I still want to take a look at what's going on in this underneath part right there. Because I do feel like it's a wiggler when I do it from the corner. See? There's something happening, and I don't know what it is exactly. You know what? Let's do that now. I want to figure that out. I think it might be the corner of the side bang there. Or maybe it actually has to be more like this. Okay, that looks fine. Might need to touch it up from that angle, but how does it look from here? Okay, yeah, I actually do think that is the issue. Okay, cool. I just had the epiphany that I needed. You can tell my brain is very happy for being away from that strand. The strand from hell that I've been forced to work on for several days straight. It's just like, oh man, it needed new stimulus, and now suddenly it's way more interested in everything that's going on. I'll take it. Okay, but that helped considerably, actually. I think that was a large chunk of it. Another, perhaps smaller chunk is just the location of this black line that goes through the middle of it. I'm checking it on the diagonal because that's where I saw, like, the worst of the squirming. Okay, yeah, that looks a lot better. There's something else that I see, but I can't quite identify what it is. I think it might have something to do with this red texture, but I don't quite understand it. I'll go ahead and try something. Let's see if that either fixes it or gives me a little bit more information for identifying the problem here. Okay, I think I see it. So it's not on that area itself. I do need to fluff this area up. I did say that I needed to line it up with everything else a little bit better here. So it's not too surprising that I needed to make some adjustments here. And then the other part is right through here, where I just need to make this come out a little bit more. There's like this tiny little bit that comes out. It's more visible here, where you can see it kind of goes in and then comes back out. And I need to bring that back. Some things apparently got tucked in just a little bit too hard. Yeah, that already looks a lot better, I think. Did it get rid of all the squirming that I was seeing? I don't know, but I got rid of a lot of it, so we'll see what my future self thinks. Okay, so what I was doing there was I was checking the diagonal for these two highlights on the top of the bang there and seeing if they were lining up nicely. Because you can see when I go from here, from the left to the upper left, they're not lining up quite as nicely. So I'm trying to decide which of them is correct. But honestly, they both look good relative to the center. So I'll adjust these ones, I think. This one has a little bit of crunch going on here anyway, so maybe fixing that will get them into the right place. Yeah, that definitely helped a little bit. And I don't mind it moving a little bit. I think it's moving in a way that makes sense. Now I just gotta do something similar right over here. Make it line up at the corner again. Move everything out just right. And there's like a little dent right there that I need to work out. Very small one, but existent nonetheless. Alright, how's that? Okay, I see. So, the change that I made to move the shadow, I think I moved it a little bit too far down. Let's go bring it back up just a little here. Yeah, that's lining up a bit better now. Alright. Okay, and I think I see another thing that might have been bothering me about that underneath spot while I was taking a look around. Just, I guess, something about it got really compressed somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Moving that vertex down a lot. Opened it back up again. So now that it's a little bit wider, maybe it'll match up a little bit better here. Okay, and hopefully it's on this underneath strand and not one of the neighboring ones. What if I pull it out that way just a little bit? Yeah, there we go. That lines up more nicely. Still something going on over here, but I'll zoom out and see which of these is correct here. Does that look better? Okay, there's... Let's see. The black line still. If I do this, just move it up ever so slightly. This is going to be a bit of guess and check, I think. But that little spot was just squirming really hard out of the corner of my eye for a really long time. I was just able to ignore it because it was far away from the areas that I was working on. Oh yeah, there we go. That's so much better. Look at that. Okay. So it tells me that I want to line this up with whatever I got going over on the upper left. Because that looks great. Yeah, this definitely looks better. Okay, so how do I go about fixing that? I think all I need to do is something like that. I do not think it's going to take very much to fix that at all. Yep, that covered a lot of it. Now I just need to get the line in the right place, which just is gonna push this down here. Simple stuff like that. Pull it out just a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's so much better. No longer just squirming up a storm in the corner of my eye. Okay. Oh wow, that did a lot to make things look better for me. Almost getting to the point where I can swing her head around. Once I finish fixing up everything over here, it's like I'll be able to do this and it won't look weird. Alrighty, it doesn't look that weird. I think I might actually still have this top bit a little bit too flat. I think I can pull that out a little bit more. So when I was swinging her head around, that was the area that was squirming the most. Just right up here. Okay. But I think that will be a job for tomorrow. I think I will end here for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or add me on the social media platform of your choice, and I will take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.